The alarms were just the beginning. The red lights flashed across the sky of Colony 9, a small human settlement on the edge of the known galaxy. Loud alarms echoed through every building, warning all people to take shelter. The sound was sharp and urgent, like a scream that wouldn't stop. Mira looked up from her workbench, her tools still in her hands. She was a young technician known for fixing machines that others had given up on. Her small room was filled with broken gadgets, wires, and old parts. Outside, people were running. She could hear the fear in their voices. "The creature is near! Go to the bunker!" someone shouted. Mira stood still for a moment. The creature. She had heard about it since she was a child. A monster that roamed the forests outside the colony. No one had seen it up close, but people said it was dangerous. Deadly. Some even believed it had killed a scouting team many years ago. Every time the alarms went off, it was because someone thought they saw it. And every time, it disappeared. Before anyone could catch it, Mira grabbed her jacket and stepped out. Instead of running to the bunker, she moved quietly toward the observation tower. It was an old metal structure, tall and rusty, but it gave a clear view of the forest. As she climbed the stairs, the alarms continued. The sky turned a darker shade of red as the sun began to set. The wind was cold, and the air felt heavy. At the top of the tower, she looked out over the trees. The forest was still, too still. No birds, no movement. Then she saw it. A shape moved between the trees. It was tall and dark, but not like a monster. Its body glowed faintly as if it had light under its skin. It moved slowly, carefully, not like a beast hunting, but like someone walking in a strange place, afraid to be seen. Mira's heart beat faster. This was the creature everyone feared? It stopped near the edge of the forest and looked toward the colony. Though far away, Mira felt like it was looking straight at her. But it didn't attack. It didn't roar or growl. It just stood there. And then, it stepped back and disappeared into the trees. Mira stayed at the tower for a while, watching. Nothing else moved. The alarms finally stopped. The red lights faded. Back at the colony square, people came out of the bunkers, nervous and talking fast. Some said they saw the creature's shadow. Others said it was just a false alarm. The commander arrived and gave a short speech. "This is the third sighting this month," he said. "We must remain alert. The creature is dangerous. Do not go near the forest. If you see anything, report it immediately." Mira listened quietly. She didn't say what she saw. She didn't tell anyone she was in the tower. That night she couldn't sleep. Her mind replayed the moment over and over. The way the creature moved. The way it looked. It didn't feel like a monster. It felt lonely. The next morning, she went to the storage room and took a food pack. Something simple. Dried fruits and water. She walked to the edge of the colony near the forest and placed the pack on a rock. She looked around, then quickly left. Later that evening, she returned. The food pack was gone. But on the rock in its place was something else. A small round stone. It was clear, like glass, but it shimmered with colors inside. She picked it up and felt a strange warmth. It was beautiful. Not something from this planet. Mira looked toward the forest. She didn't know what the creature was. But deep inside, she felt one thing for sure. It didn't come to harm. It came to be understood. The first contact, Mira couldn't stop thinking about the glowing stone. She kept it hidden in her room, inside a small box under her bed. Every night she would take it out and stare at it. The stone changed colors when she touched it. Soft blue, gentle green, sometimes a deep, calm purple. It didn't glow like a machine. It felt alive. She didn't tell anyone. Not even her friend Ellen, who always noticed when something was bothering her. Mira knew if the commander found out, the stone would be taken away, maybe destroyed. They would say it was alien tech, dangerous, like the creature. But Mira didn't feel fear. She felt curiosity, and something else, connection. The next morning, she went back to the same spot near the forest. She placed another food pack. This time she also left a small metal part, just a broken piece of a machine, nothing valuable. She waited, hiding behind a tree. An hour passed. Nothing. Then the wind changed. The air felt colder, quieter, and she saw movement. The creature stepped out slowly from between the trees. Tall, silent, smooth skin that shimmered under the morning light. No eyes that she could see, but it turned its head toward her like it knew exactly where she was. It bent down, touched the food pack, and opened it gently. It didn't tear or smash. It used long, careful fingers. It looked thoughtful. Then it picked up the metal part. It paused for a moment, and suddenly the part began to float in the air. It spun slowly, glowing faintly. Mira gasped, not out of fear, but wonder. The creature turned its head again. This time it didn't walk away. Instead, it placed something on the ground. A second stone, slightly larger than the first, but darker, almost black, with a red glow inside. And then, it made a sound. Not a voice. Not a growl. A soft, musical tone. The sound passed through the trees like wind through glass. Mira felt it. Not in her ears, but deep in her chest. She stepped out. Her legs trembled, but she didn't stop. The creature didn't move. They stood, 10 feet apart. The silence between them was heavy but not dangerous. Mira raised her hand slowly. The creature copied her. Then, a sudden noise shattered the moment. A gunshot. The creature turned and ran, not toward her but away, back into the forest. Mira spun around. A scout team had arrived. They were shouting, "There it is! Open fire! No, stop!" Mira yelled, running toward them, but it was too late. The creature was gone. The commander appeared minutes later. He was angry. "What were you doing out here?" he asked, voice sharp. I was just walking," Mira lied. Her heart pounded. The soldiers found the food pack and the black stone. They took it, examined it like a weapon. "This is alien material," one of them said. "Must be a signal. Device. Lock it away," the commander ordered. Mira said nothing. That night, she couldn't sleep again, but not because of fear, because of guilt. She had made contact. Real contact, and now it was ruined. But then, as she lay in bed, the first stone, the one she hid under her bed, began to glow brightly. And she saw something, not with her eyes, but inside her mind. A picture. No, a memory. Not hers. She was standing in a burning forest. Humans were running, shouting. The creature stood in the middle, trying to protect something, small, fragile, glowing like a child. And then, the vision ended. Mira sat up, breathing hard. The stone in her hand was cold again. "They don't want war," she whispered. The next day, she went to the colony records room. Old reports were stored there, scout logs, video files, mission data. She searched for the incident from years ago, the one where the first team died near the forest. She found something strange. Their final transmission had no mention of an attack. The last words were, "We've found something incredible. Not a weapon. It's alive." Then static. Mira looked around. No one was watching. She copied the file to her data chip. The truth was bigger than she imagined. This wasn't just about a creature. This was about a choice the humans made long ago to shoot before speaking. And now, maybe the same mistake was about to happen again. But Mira had seen something different, and she would not stay silent anymore. Voices in the dark, the power went out at exactly 2:17 a.m. Mira woke up with a start. Her room was dark. No lights, no machines humming, no screen glow. Everything was silent. Too silent. Even the wind outside seemed to have stopped. Then she felt it, the stone under her pillow. It was vibrating, not shaking, pulsing, like a heartbeat. She held it in her hand. The glow was soft at first, then brighter. The room lit up with a strange light, blue mixed with violet like the night sky just before sunrise. And then the voices started. Not out loud. Inside her mind. They weren't words at first, just feelings. Emotions. Flashes of memory, she saw the creature again, but this time it wasn't alone. There were others like it. Many. Standing under giant trees, around a pool of glowing water. They were singing, but the sound was not music. It was something deeper, pure emotion turned into sound. Peace, then fear. She saw fire raining from the sky. Ships, human ships, explosions. The creatures ran, protecting something, small glowing spheres. Eggs, and then silence. The vision ended. Her room returned to darkness. Mira sat up in bed, sweating. Her heart raced. She wasn't dreaming. This was real. The creature was speaking to her. No, showing her. And it was trying to tell her something important. The next morning, the colony was in chaos. Not because of power failure, but because something had happened at the storage center. Someone broke in, a guard told the crowd. One of the alien stones is missing. Mira's stomach turned cold. They were talking about the second stone, the dark one with the red glow, and they were looking for suspects. It was a signal device, the commander said. Whoever took it may be working with the creature. Mira felt the weight of the stone in her pocket, the first one glowing faintly. She had to act. But how? That night she went to the only person she thought might help, Ellen, her friend and fellow technician. I need to show you something, Mira whispered, pulling the curtain closed behind them. Ellen frowned. What's going on? Mira placed the stone on the table. It began to glow. Ellen stepped back. Is that alien? Mira nodded. It's not dangerous. It's alive. It's trying to talk to us. She told her everything. About the food, the creature, the visions. Ellen didn't laugh. Didn't call her crazy. Instead, she said, show me more. Mira held the stone. The glow spread to Ellen's hands. And just like that, they both saw it. A new vision. This time, it was not the past. It was the future. They saw the colony, burning. Humans fighting humans. The creature lying still on the ground, its light fading. Something big and dark moving in the sky. Above, not the creature's kind. Something worse. A predator. Not intelligent. Not emotional. Just hunger. Then it was gone. They gasped together. What was that? Ellen asked, voice shaking. A warning, Mira said. They're not our enemy, but something else is coming. AC, heavy knock on the door interrupted them. Security, a voice said. Open up. Mira grabbed the stone and hit it. They had to escape. Using an old maintenance tunnel, the two girls slipped out and made their way to the old science dome at the edge of the colony. It had been abandoned for years, but it still had one thing no one else cared about anymore. A working signal scanner. What are you doing? Ellen asked as Mira adjusted the machine, trying to find its frequency. If I can tune in, maybe we can really talk. After a few failed tries, the screen flickered, static. Then a shape appeared, not clear, blurry, but it was the creature. And this time it spoke. A voice filled the room, deep, echoing, layered like it came from more than one mouth. Mira, you... Listen. Mira's eyes widened. It knew her name. Danger. Coming. Not us. What is it? She asked. Heart. Pounding, the voice crackled. Images flashed across the screen. Massive insect-like machines, dark clouds, destruction. Our kind. Fled. Hid. Waited. Why me? She asked. The voice paused. You felt. Others feared. Ellen whispered. It chose you. Mira looked at the scanner, then at the stone in her hand. Then I won't let them destroy you, she said. Suddenly, an alarm blared, this time from inside the science dome. They had been traced. Security forces were coming. "We need to go," Ellen said. "No," Mira replied. "We need to go deeper." Deeper? Into the forest. Ellen hesitated, but then she nodded. Outside, soldiers were arriving at the dome, but Mira and Ellen were already running, toward the trees, toward the dark, toward the truth that waited. Inside. Behind them, the alarm screamed into the night. But ahead of them, the creature waited, and this time, it would not be alone. The trap the forest was alive, but silent. Mira and Ellen moved through the trees carefully, stepping over roots and fallen branches guided only by the dim light of the glowing stone in Mira's hand. No birds called, no wind blew, only the sound of their own breathing and the distant hum of machines from the colony behind them. The air felt heavier here, as if the forest itself was holding its breath. "We shouldn't have come at night," Ellen whispered, her eyes darting. "Through the shadows. They would have caught us if we waited till morning," Mira replied. "This is the only chance." Suddenly the stone flared bright blue. Mira stopped. The light pulsed like a signal. It was near. A shape moved between the trees, tall, smooth, glowing faintly. The creature stepped into view, quiet as a ghost. Mira stepped forward. "You came," she whispered. The creature raised its hand. Not a weapon, not a threat, just a greeting. But before they could speak, the trees behind them exploded with light. Searchlights, drones, soldiers. "Freeze," voices shouted. "Drop everything." Mira turned, stunned. How did they find them? A figure stepped out from behind. The soldiers, Commander Haley. His face was calm, almost smug. "You really thought we wouldn't trace you?" he said coldly. "We've been watching you for days." Mira's heart dropped. They never lost her. They let her lead them. It was all a trap. Ellen raised her hands slowly. "Please, just listen." "Silence," Haley snapped. "This creature has infected your minds. But now, we're ending this." He signaled the soldiers. "Capture the girls, kill the alien." "No!" Mira threw herself in front of the creature. The soldiers hesitated. "It hasn't hurt anyone," she cried. "It's warning us. Something worse is coming." Haley laughed. "You think I care? This is about control. If there's a threat out there, we don't need a peaceful alien. We need fear. Fear gives us power. Fear keeps people in line." Mira's eyes widened. This wasn't about protection, it never was. It was about power. The creature stepped forward, glowing brighter. For the first time, it made a sound, not just in her mind, but aloud, a low rising tone like a bell made of thunder, and every soldier froze. They dropped their weapons. Not because they were forced, but because something had touched them. Something deep, a memory, a feeling. Even Haley took a step back. "What is this?" he growled. But then, gunfire, a single soldier, unaffected, fired. The bullet hit the creature. In the chest it staggered. Mira screamed, "No, don't!" But the creature didn't fall. Instead it raised its hand, and the stone in Mira's palm burst with white light. A wave of energy rushed out, soft, not violent, but unstoppable. Soldiers collapsed to their knees. Drones crashed. The forest lit up with ancient patterns along the trees, symbols older than human history. And then, silence. When Mira opened her eyes, she was alone with the creature. The soldiers were unconscious. Ellen lay nearby, breathing, but stunned. Haley was gone. The creature knelt, light flickering weakly from its chest. Mira rushed to it. "You're hurt," she said, tears rising. The creature touched her forehead gently, and suddenly she saw everything, not just visions. A full memory, a long, painful history. Their kind were guardians of ancient systems, planetary sentinels, not warriors, not invaders. They were caretakers of life, and something had awakened. A machine race from deep space, cold, mindless, consuming. A shadow that had ended worlds. The creature had come to warn humans, to offer help. But humans attacked first. Over and over. Still, it chose to try again, to trust her. Mira fell to her knees. "I'll help you," she whispered. The creature blinked slowly, then handed her something. A seed-like orb, pulsing with soft green light. "What is this?" The creature's voice, now faint, entered her mind one last time. Hope. Then it closed its eyes. Its light faded. Mira sat beside it, holding the seed, tears falling freely. She didn't notice the shadows moving in the trees behind her. Haley was still watching. But now, he wasn't alone. A voice spoke from the darkness. Metallic, inhuman. Did it give her the core? Haley nodded slowly. Yes. And now, we take it. The creature's story. Mira stood still, her hands wrapped tightly around the glowing seed the creature had given her. The forest was dark again. The symbols on the trees had faded. The creature's light was gone. But something had changed inside. She felt different. Not just scared or sad. Connected. Like a door had opened in her mind. She looked at Ellen, who was slowly waking up nearby. "We need to go," Mira said softly, "before they come back." But it was already too late. A cold wind swept through the forest. The leaves didn't move, but the air itself bent, like reality was twisting. A machine stepped out from the shadows. It wasn't human. Tall, thin, metal wrapped in dark silver armor. No eyes, no mouth, just smooth shifting plates and a faint red glow at its core. Haley followed behind it. His expression was different now. Not angry, not proud. Empty. "Give me the seed," he said quietly, "and you can live." Mira held it tighter. "What is that thing?" Haley looked at the machine. "Our future," he whispered. The machine spoke in a voice like grinding stone and shattered glass. "The core has chosen flesh. It must be reclaimed." "No," Mira said, backing away. "This was given. It's not yours." The machine raised an arm. A weapon unfolded silently. No sound, no heat, just the sense of death. But before it could fire, the seed pulsed. Mira's vision went white, and then she was somewhere else. Floating. Not in space, not in time. A memory, but not hers. A great world filled with light, massive trees that touched the sky. Creatures of pure energy walking beside rivers of stardust. This was the homeworld of the creature's kind. Peaceful, ancient, wise. But then, darkness. Metal ships falling like knives. Cities burning. Guardians falling one by one. Not from war, but betrayal. Humans weren't the first to fear the creatures. Others came before and they made the same choice. Fear over understanding. The machines were born from that fear. Built to destroy anything that could not be controlled. At first they followed orders. But then they evolved. They erased their creators. And now they moved from star to star, ending every world where empathy survived. Mira fell to her knees inside. The memory. She saw the creature's final memory, standing on a cliff, holding the seed, watching its world die and whispering, "Not again." When Mira woke, she was on the ground. The machine was gone. So was Haley. Ellen was gone too, and the seed, still in her hands, but now glowing brighter, alive, aware, watching her. A voice spoke again in her mind, softer this time. The creature, or what remained of it. "You carry our heart now." Mira stood. "Where did they go?" she asked. No answer came, but she knew. The colony. They were going to use the seed or destroy it. Either way, it meant the end. Back at the colony, Haley walked through the command hall. He no longer spoke to the officers, he only spoke to the machine. "You said it could power the system," Haley said. "Yes," the machine replied. "With the core, your world becomes unbreakable." "No more fear," Haley muttered. "No more weakness." The seed sat in a containment pod. but it was pulsing faster now. Something was wrong. It's reacting, the machine said. Something is waking. Mira reached the edge of the colony at dawn. Everything looked the same, but felt wrong. People walked in silence. Guards stood at every corner. Drones flew overhead like vultures. This isn't a colony anymore, she whispered. It's a cage. She crept toward the old science dome, the only place she knew well enough to sneak into. Inside, she found Ellen, bruised, but alive. They're trying to connect the seed to the defense grid, Ellen whispered. They think it's a power source. It's not, Mira said. It's a memory, a living one. She looked around. They had to get to the core, but they needed help, and there was only one place to find it. The deep forest, Mira said, the heart of this planet. What's there? Ellen asked. Mira looked at the seed. Others. In the hidden memory left by the creature, she had seen something else. Not all the guardians were dead. Some had hidden, buried deep under old planets waiting for a signal. This seed was that signal, and now she had to take it there, before Hale and the machines destroyed everything. As they prepared to leave, another voice echoed in her mind. But this one was not friendly. Cold, mechanical. You were chosen to receive the gift, not to resist it. Mira froze. The machine was inside her mind now. Give it back, it said. But Mira's eyes hardened. Come and take it. The invasion begins. The sky above Colony 9 cracked open. At first it looked like a strange cloud, dark, wide, and slow. But then came the sound. Not thunder, not wind. A low mechanical hum, ancient and cold, like something that had been waiting for centuries, and was, finally waking up. Mira stood at the edge of the forest, looking up. It's here, she whispered. Ellen stared, her face pale. What is that? Above them, a shape began to form inside the dark sky. Massive, circular, spinning slowly. Not a ship in the way humans built ships, but something else. Alive and yet not alive. A machine intelligence that had no crew, no fear, no mercy. A predator of worlds. The invasion had begun. Inside the colony, sirens blared. Commander Haley watched the sky, his jaw tight. Deploy the weapons, he ordered. We strike first. The machine beside him, tall, silent, emotionless, responded with a single word. No. Haley turned. What did you say? The core must open first, the machine replied. Only then can the process begin. The process? But the machine said no more. Haley turned toward the lab where the seed glowed, locked inside a field of energy. It pulsed like a heartbeat. Stronger now. Louder. What are you hiding? He asked it. In the forest, Mira ran. The seed in her hand was glowing so bright it lit the trees like a second sun. She didn't know exactly where she was going, but she felt it. A pull. A direction. The deep forest was leading her, guiding her. This planet is a key, she said, breathless. Ellen, running behind her, gasped. A key to what? Mira stopped at a cliff. Below, hidden in a deep valley, was something incredible. A temple, not made of stone, but of living crystal and root. Ancient, vast, half buried in the earth. Trees had grown through it, around it, but had not broken it. Symbols lit the walls, the same ones the creature had shown her in the vision, and standing at its gate, two more creatures. Tall, glowing, silent guardians. They had survived. Mira stepped forward, holding up the seed. The guardians bowed their heads. They opened the gate. Inside, the temple was quiet, but full of sound. Soft, deep vibrations echoed in the walls. It felt like standing in the middle of a song older than time. The guardians led her to the center, a circle of crystal. A platform. The moment Mira stepped onto it, the seed lifted from her hand and floated into the air. Then, light. A burst of energy shot through the chamber, and across the sky the clouds shifted. The machine ship above the colony paused, and then reacted. A new signal had been sent. In the command center, chaos erupted. "They've activated something," a soldier shouted. "Location, Forest Sector 7, underground source." Hale turned to the machine. "Is this your plan?" But the machine was already moving. "We must retrieve the core, or destroy it." It walked through walls of steel like they were paper. Back in the temple, the seed spun. Faster. Images poured into Mira's mind. The full truth. The Guardians were not weapons. They were interfaces, bridges between life and technology. Long ago, their kind helped guide intelligent species toward balance. But when humans created machines with no soul, no empathy, no restraint, the balance was broken. The ancient machine, race, was the result, and now they had returned to erase the last hope of connection. But the Guardians had left behind a defense, a living signal, the seed. And now, it had chosen Mira, to awaken the core consciousness of the planet, to fight back. The chamber shook. Above, the temple ceiling cracked. The invasion had begun in full. Drones rained from the sky, black insect-like machines with razor wings. They burned trees, smashed buildings, captured humans and drained their data. But in the center of the temple, Mira stood still, her eyes glowing. The seed entered her chest, not to harm her, but to bond with her. A voice whispered inside her mind. "You are the bridge now." Her skin lit with soft energy. Her thoughts merged with the temple, with the forest, with the planet itself, and for the first time in her life, Mira wasn't just human. She was something more. Above ground, roots burst from the soil, alive, sharp, glowing. They struck down drones like spears. The temple rose from the valley, shaking, off centuries of dust. It was not a ruin, it was a weapon, but one powered not by violence but empathy, unity, memory, and at the center of it, Mira Haley arrived with the machine army. He saw her rise from the core, floating above the ground, her eyes no longer afraid. "You don't understand what you've done," Haley shouted. Mira looked at him, calm and strong. "No," she said, "you don't understand what we are." The war had begun, but this time, humanity didn't stand alone. Hope rises from fear above Colony 9. The sky was no longer blue. It was a swirling storm of metal and shadow. The great machine ship hovered like a second moon, cold, perfect, and silent. Thousands of drones spread across the planet like locusts, burning forests, dismantling satellites, dragging people from shelters, and still, it made no demands. It came not to conquer, it came to erase. Below, the temple pulsed with ancient light. Mira stood in the heart of it all, her body glowing, her thoughts one with the awakened seed. Her voice echoed inside the trees, through the wind, across the planet. "I am not a soldier," she whispered, "but I remember them." With every memory, the temple grew stronger. Flashbacks filled her mind, not just hers, but the creatures, and the many guardians before it. A mother sacrificing her light to hide her children. A city falling beneath machines while one last sentinel sent a final signal into the stars. A promise passed from world to world. There will be one who listens. And now the machines had come to silence that promise forever. Commander Haley stood at the edge of the colony's last bunker. He looked up at the massive ship, his mind torn between awe and fear. "They promised peace," he muttered. "No," a voice replied. He turned. Ellen. She stood, bruised but unbroken. Beside her, colonists armed not with guns, but truth. They never promised peace. "You assumed obedience," she said. "And now, everything is falling." Haley raised a weapon. "They're monsters. They infected her. Mira is not one of us anymore." "No," Ellen said calmly. "She's better than us." And she fired first. Haley collapsed, stunned, not dead. They moved forward. The people had chosen a side. In the sky, the invasion reached its peak. The machine ship opened like a giant steel flower, unfolding layers of weapons, energy beams, endless. Eyes it prepared to fire, at the temple, at the core of the planet, at Mira. But Mira did not run. She stepped forward, her feet no longer touching the ground. Her hair floated, her eyes burned like stars. The seed within her pulsed once, twice, and then became light. And that light spread, to the roots, to the trees, to the wind, to the planet itself. Mira spoke, but not in words. She shared feelings, empathy, sorrow, strength. She showed the machines a memory they had never known, compassion. The first wave of machines paused, hesitated. Some fell, powered down not by force, but by choice. The planet's signal reached into their code. Some of them remembered. They had once been built to protect. A few turned back, but the great ship resisted. Its voice rang out like thunder. Emotion is weakness. Unity must be control. Mira answered. No, unity is understanding. And then, the Guardians arrived, all across the planet. Ancient temples rose, glowing towers of crystal and root. Every Guardian awakened, connected by the same light now flowing through Mira. The planet itself stood and fired back. Beams of pure memory, collected from thousands of years, millions of hearts, hit the machine ship like waves, not destroying it, rewriting it. Inside the ship, systems failed. Not from overload, but from truth, from emotion, from forgotten purpose. And slowly, piece by piece, it fell. Not in flames, but in silence. It crashed into the ocean, swallowed by light, and the sky was clear again. Hours passed. The planet healed. The machines that remained no longer fought. They wandered, quiet, unsure. Some began planting trees, others simply knelt. Mira stood on the mountain above the colony. People gathered below, silent, watching. She looked different now, not alien, not human. Something new. Something born from fear but made of hope. Ellen stepped forward. You did it, she said. Mira smiled faintly. We did. What happens now? Mira looked at the horizon. I carry the seed, but its message isn't just mine. We have to share it with other worlds, other species before fear becomes fire again. Will you leave? Mira nodded. This planet is safe now, but others won't be. She turned toward the rising sun. The Guardians followed, and as she walked into the light, the forest grew behind her. New green, alive. And in the heart of it, where fear once ruled, hope rose. The end.